All right, good morning. Anambra is back, and this time we have some very important guests in the studios where we were talking about broadcasting in Nigeria, challenges and prospects. And this morning, to discuss this, we're joined with Mr. Anthony Aniebwe, an analyst and engineer. Mr. Anthony, good to have you on the program.
Thank you, viewers. Thank you. You're welcome.
And of course, we also have Mr. Roy Ekwunife, a broadcaster and actor, a seasoned man. I mean, you can go on. He said we shouldn't call him one who loots lots of money. Mr. Roy, good to have you on the show.
Hey, I'm glad to be here. Good morning.
Good morning to you. Well, we're talking about broadcasting in Nigeria, the challenges and prospects. But first, you're looking very happy this morning. There's this joy radiating in your face. You want to tell us?
You see, it takes 2 million nerves to frown. Okay. And then it takes 3 to smile. So choose between frowning and smiling. That's why I'm always happy. It's a very simple arithmetic.
Yeah. Well, I think something else is making you happy apart from that.
Everything is making me happy. Being alive today, seeing another day, being as fit as a fiddle makes me happy too.
Now, in as much as he's just told us what made him happy, yes, we want to believe that there's something much more. Recently, you were you won the Broadcaster of the Year Southeast, bestowed on you by the Actors Guild of Nigeria.
Okay, the Southeast Actors Guild of Nigeria.
And you won the award as the
best broadcaster. That's it. You see, they've been following our broadcasting track record, and at the end of the day, I was in the studio one day, and then had a message, and they said that you'll be nominated for XYZ award.
That's your pictures there.
Oh yeah, so yes, that was in Abia State, where the event held. Okay. And then when I got there as well, I wanted the stage. They said I must anchor the event. So I became the compere. So, of course, I had to do that. You can see I didn't take much pictures because I was busy. Calling others up to the stage to receive the award. And then at the end of the day, they said, "Well, you deserve this award. The nomination has worked out." And I said, "Okay, to God be the glory." So I came home with the award, Broadcaster of the Year 2018 by the Nollywood Southeast, as Actors Guild of Nigeria, AGN Southeast.
And you brought back the awards, and you also came to display the awards to the organization and, of course, the MD himself.
Hey, of course. I've always told people in the movie industry that ABS is my primary constituency. Anything that comes between me and ABS, I've had cause to abandon movie roles because of my job.
Okay.
And then so many producers and directors don't like working with me because they will always say, "If you call Roy, I want to go and read the news. I want to go and take my news. Please get me another person." ABS first.
All right.
Any other
all right. When you received the award, what was the feeling like? I mean, is this the first award you've ever received?
No, not the first.
At least award certificate is award.
Of course. Yeah. No, here in ABS, in 2013, I received the Best Radio Staff Award in ABS here. And then in 2013 again, I received another award from the Actors Guild of Nigeria. By then, I was the PRO, Actors Guild of Nigeria, Anambra. I received the award, Best PRO Southeast Award.
Okay.
I had another one from the Boy Scout of Nigeria. I had a Movie Ambassadors Award.
Wow.
So many of them.
So it's been rolling. This is actually the latest. The Actors Guild of Nigeria Southeast Zone presents an award of excellence to Comrade Roy Ekwunife as the AGN Southeast Broadcaster of the Year 2018. Congratulations, and I think that's actually very big.
Congratulations.
Yeah. It's good when people recognize your working hard. And then when I came home, I said, it behoves me, to present the award to the management of ABS. And then I walked into the MD CEO's office and I said, "Oga, I'm here with an award. I had my accolade, and I must present it to you because you've been supportive, because you've been harping on content, because you've been harping on creativity, because you've been challenging us, to putting our very best. And the outcome of our putting out that our very best, this is one of the outcomes.
All right, so let's come to you now, engineer. What would you have to say about the award so far, and as regards to Mr. Roy himself picking up the award?
It's wonderful, very, very wonderful. I didn't even know that Roy is any other thing apart from the radio.
Wow.
Until I saw him one day using this juju something. He quoted like he was a medicine man. I said,
where I played
this man
native doctor.
Yes.
That's in the movie City of War.
Wow.
Yes.
I saw this brother. I said, brother, I saw you when you were giving cola nut to.
Oh yes, appeasing the gods of the land.
I want appeasing the gods of the land.
Yes.
It's a wonderful thing, and I want to congratulate you.
Oh, thank you.
All right, still talking about the award, Mr. Roy. What impact does this award have on you, and how are you going to use it in discharging of your duties? How is it going to impart in the discharge of your duties?
Oh, I like that question. It's a pertinent question. When you receive such an award, it behoves you to work harder. It's like you've now drawn a geographical line of demarcation between performance, docility, and non-performance, activity and inactivity. So it behoves me now to work harder, to read wide, to be dedicated, to sustain my passion for the job, to continue to excel.
All right,
of course.
And it's all for everybody, especially those in the media.
Yes, sir.
So it makes you understand people are watching.
Yeah, exactly.
And when you do it well, people will recognize you.
Exactly.
And award will be given to you.
All right, the broadcasting in Nigeria, challenges and prospects now as the topic this morning. Now let me start with you, Mr. Roy.
Yeah.
What is broadcasting? Because when we talk about broadcasting in Nigeria, you've been in the game for for some years now, and you don't do just only broadcasting. You're also an actor.
Yep.
But here we're talking about broadcasting, the prospect and challenges. Of course, we're still going to come back to your acting career. But tell us, what do you understand by broadcasting?
Well, broadcasting simply means, in my own definition, is a transmission or communication of ideas, information, agenda setting, a whole lot of them. But let's leave it at that for now. That is broadcasting.
All right.
While you're broadcasting, what are you doing? You're giving information. You are informing the public.
Okay.
That is broadcasting.
All right. Yeah, broadcasting is a business of
course.
disseminating
Business.
information. So how is this business going on in Nigeria? We want to come back home here in Nigeria.
Yeah, in Nigeria, broadcasting is a lucrative business. It's thriving in Nigeria. You have different stations, community broadcasting stations. You have privately owned stations. You have government owned. You still have federal government owned. So with that, you see that it's thriving in Nigeria. Otherwise, you won't have all these ones. So in Nigeria, there are prospects, there are challenges. Maybe when we get to that, well, broadcasting in Nigeria has been, let me say, interesting, but not without hazards, not without challenges. But when we get to the challenges,
we'll talk about it. Okay, let me come over to you. Engineer, report says that the current structure of broadcasting in the country is deficient to effectively cover the whole country and provide the critical voice for everybody in the country. Do you agree with this?
Yes, I have to agree, because if not, the recent, you discover around that because almost everybody is becoming a broadcaster.
Sure.
By the use of social media. You wake up in the morning, you see people sharing news, even sharing video bloggers and the rest of them. Only we want to say it must have a limit. You must have to operate within limit. So always, even as I'm talking to you, even as people are going into this type of media dissemination of information, there are still some untouched area What I mean by untouched, there are still some people who are not getting this information very well. But not everybody goes into social media to scan for news, so they may not know what may happen. Not everybody listens to radio, television. In some areas, invariably, if you don't have light, you wouldn't know what's happening. So that's also all the challenges that are but the point remains that always this broadcasting, new information dissemination, news circulation will continue to evolve so that more and more people will get to have
all right,
information.
Let me come to you. When you were saying something, Mr. Roy, let me come to you. He said that everybody looks as if they are now broadcasters. And I know for every profession, you have to go for a training. It's either before you start the job or on the job. And now we see that a lot of people are going into broadcasting. You hear a lot of voices behind the microphone. Then should we attribute this to the proliferation of radio houses and television houses in the country?
Well, let me start with you. You said you were coming to me. You didn't come to me. You are still sitting there.
All right.
Okay, no problem.
I now know you are also a comedian.
So, proliferation of radio stations, I would not say I'm against that because it creates job opportunities. It gives job, creates employment. But then it behoves the management of that station or those stations to do the needful. You have to train somebody to be able to inform, educate, and entertain. In broadcasting, there's what we call language clinic. The difference between you and the man at a corker is the way you pronounce your words. A man at a corker can say, give me this sachet water. Well, you know when you get there, say, can I have this sachet water? That makes
You
a
don't
difference.
even call it sachet water. You call it pure water.
So, no, emphasis is on sachet now.
Okay.
S-A-T-C-E-S.
Yeah.
So, now, that makes the difference. It's because you had that training. And then, mounting the stage, like the end thing now is phoning programs. You're not prepared for a program, you just dash into the studio, open up the line, call him, blah, 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 line, blah, 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 call us. No, you must do your research, have a topic. It's part of training. And then when you are there, you are representing a station. You are talking to veterans. As we are here now in this program, we have veterans out there. They are watching us, you know. So they know any mistake you make, they're fine. So you must dot your I's and cross your T's in broadcasting. So training is a sine qua non for effective and efficient broadcasting. Yeah.
Okay, now looking at broadcasting in Nigeria generally, now we know that lots of these politicians, a lot of all these party people love to use the media as their source of probably disseminating information to the public or the country, the nation. And like now, do you think the mass media plays a role in this democratic setting, engineer?
Yes, of course.
And if yes, to what extent did the mass media play a role?
Let me tell you that it is the media that makes somebody know that government is working. Let me tell you, if one man who calls himself the president is in the government house and he does one or two things and nobody knows, he's not working, nobody knows what he's doing. So it's the media that actually make government work. It's the media that give the government that very coverage, that publicity that is doing something. So mass media, as you call it, is now sending this information across to the general public, to the masses of the area in question. So actually mass media is doing very, very wonderful in letting the work of politicians known. The other thing there is that sometimes you now discover that these politicians will now like to direct the information dissemination system, how it will go so that they will benefit mostly. You understand? So for the audience, that is why sometimes you see we had some hard governments try to muzzle the media so that they tell them what to do. You must tell people this is what to, even when they are forced to lie. And that is where you now talk about the problems of yes. So the point remains that in Nigeria today, the mass media is actually doing greatly in making the work of government come on board.
Okay, to add to that, imagine a country in information blackout, without the radio, without the television.
Without newspapers?
Without newspapers, the print media now. Information blackout. How will that look?
Yes.
So let's
darkness.
Let's leave it at that.
All right, let's quickly talk about the challenges of broadcasting in Nigeria. Of course, we know over not too long, a lot of there was this issue with journalists being beaten up, and while going to cover the programs for the station. So quickly tell us what are the factors militating against the broadcasting in Nigeria?
So many. One is you made mention of one. There's what we call government control of the media. Maybe the state-owned media, you're boxed into a corner. And we come up with what we say, he who pays the piper determines the chief.
Yeah.
It doesn't give room for transparent, reportage, because you are doctored. Always. You cannot come into your state and then start talking against the governor of the state. You cannot come into, let's say, the FRCN side and start criticizing the president.
Pictures. Look at the pictures on the screen.
Oh, yes. You cannot come there and start criticizing the president. They tell you the part to do. The state-owned media is much more like a propaganda machinery of that particular government. It's a problem because it doesn't give room for transparency. And then, like the other time in ABS, they went to cover incident at Okozo. They were
these are some of the pictures.
They were beating black and blue, and then the vehicles damaged. These are some of the hazards. Now, how will government take care of such if the workers are insured? If the workers are protected, media workers now, such things will not happen. So it's one of the factors militating against broadcasting. And then many of them, we can talk about poor remuneration. If you're here, your salary is 10 naira, and at the end of the day, look at how you are dressed. Your salary can't even buy you what you're putting on now. I mean, it creates room for corruption. And then it doesn't make for job satisfaction. But when you receive commensurate pay back at the end of the day, you wake up every morning, man, my job first.
Okay, you talked about government actually, checkmating the broadcasting services in Nigeria. Now, engineer, do you feel the government are doing enough or have done enough as regards to broadcasting in Nigeria?
Well, always government is working. Always government is working, but like you put it, doing enough. I would say not yet. We've not really gotten to a point where we want the broadcasting industry to be. Just like my brother rightly said here, a lot of things still need to be done in equipment, in personnel emolument, in security, because I think I've heard stories of where some media houses are shut down because they said one or two things which the government is not happy about. And you can also look at even covering war zones. War zones, what happened? People you are talking about, because we have a little peace in Nigeria, comparatively peaceful. There are some areas in this part of this country that is very violent. The area, northeast area, even in Middle Belt area where armed men are on the rampage. The people, just like you presented what happened at Okozo.
A typical example.
You can imagine what happened there. So there must be security for media people so that they will be able to do their work with a great assurance.
Maybe there's a war going on in Afghanistan. Yes. They send you there.
No, you have to talk about Meduguri there. You talk about
Afghanistan. And you get there, they Afghanistanize you. You go to Meduguri. Yeah. You see, you face the insurgency.
Oh, yes.
You can imagine the situation. And at the end of the day, how much will you pay to take such risk?
All right, talking about how much you're being paid, let's talk about broadcasters or journalists that will always receive kind of gratification from people to write like one-sided story in favor of
that's why I said earlier that it breeds corruption. It triggers corruption. If I'm here now, assuming my pay pack is 1 million naira, and you want me to cover a story for you or do anything for you, and you are dangling 100,000 naira, I can slap you as well. Say, my friend, go home with this. But where I have 5 naira in my pocket, and you come to dangle.
Your landlord is about to eject you.
To eject me from the
so
place.
let's
you dangle 5,000 naira. I said, this 5,000 naira can put food on my table for today. But let me grab it. And you grab it and start to cut corners. This is a problem. Right, and then on the issue of even the print media, reading culture is equally part of it. Because most people now go online, read things online from the social media, and then you've mass produced maybe 1 million copies of your paper for the day, and then you still have the issue of Free Readers Association to grapple with. The idea. They've read all the papers.
And they don't pay anything.
They did not pay. They will drop it. And at the end of the day, you sell only 3. Don't you know that sooner than later, you go out of production?
All right. Thank you very much. But we probably want to know what's the way out of those challenges as regards to broadcasting?
Just
in 1 minute.
Yes. Like you said, talk about this remuneration issue. I remember as a civil society person, sometimes you draw up proposal for grant. You see, some of these international donor agencies, what they call development partners, if you draw a proposal and you don't include how much you are going to be paid for the duration and enough, when they look at your proposal, no matter how good that proposal is, they will tell you no. How much are you going to be paid for this work? You say no, you are doing for the Christmas. They say no, you are going to put hand in the money that is meant for the project. They will tell you your proposal is very good, but put how much you are going to. So what I'm trying to say is that people must be able to understand that if you pay somebody peanuts,
I cannot beat my chest complacently that I've done something this morning if I don't mention this problem again. Epileptic power supply. When you are broadcasting, you have to buy diesel, you have to do this. At the end of the day, they don't have patronage. In the area of advert, you go out of production.
All right, so thank you. We need power. Thank you very much. We want to say a very big thank you to Anthony Anambra, an analyst and engineer. Many thanks for joining us on this program.
Thank you.
And of course, Mr. Roy Ekunife, a broadcaster, an actor, and of course, he just won an award that is quite a Many thanks for joining us.
Thank you, and I'm glad to be here.